Well, I put not Prezi. Good evening, witches.
Hi, witches.
Hello, hello.
Happy Aquarius new moon.
Happy Aquarius new moon, you guys. Listen, this, if anybody doesn't know, this is when I think of the New Year's is actually happening, because Aquarius new moon is such a perfect time to actually make our New Year's resolutions. And we're going to talk
Set
about
our
that
goals for
tonight.
the year.
Set our goals. Yes.
Yeah, for the year instead of in January, which.
Well, especially over the next 6 months. So we get to go through 6 months of signs before we hit the Aquarius full moon. So I'm going to give you guys a little, it's not like a tip. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what you would call this thing that I'm about to tell you. But when we have a new moon and then we have its full moon 6 months later, roughly, they are occurring in the opposite signs. So if you look at the wheel of the 12 zodiac signs, the Aquarius and the Leo are lined up. So when you have the Aquarius new moon, you'll have the Leo full moon. And when you have the Leo new moon, you'll have the Aquarius full moon.
6 months later.
I'm telling you,
6 months apart.
Yeah, it's 6 months. So they just transition. So we are looking forward to our new moon and the intentions that we set right now, the things that we want to change, accomplish, bring into our lives, attract. This is for the next 6 months into August. I think it's August 19th is the Aquarius full moon in Leo.
So that's like perfect because in 6 months I want to lose 30 pounds.
Hey,
so that fits.
Oh my gosh,
that fits with my goal.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah, I guess what's really interesting about it is like that new moon is always about beginnings and full moon is about the celebration of the things that we were trying to uncover, gain, our goals, whatever. And nobody ever told me when I was first into witchcraft, when I was first really practicing, and I knew astrology, nobody blatantly said, hey, guess what? From new moon in this sign to full moon in this sign is 6 months. And you should give yourself that amount of time to manifest, call into your life, do spells for, allow it to,
adopt new habits.
6 months.
Routines.
I mean, new moon in a sign to a full moon in a sign is roughly 6 months. So I have to admit that I only learned that probably 7 or 8 years ago. And you guys know I've been practicing for 25 years, but nobody put it that simply. And I didn't make the connection before. And now when I make goals for myself, I give it a timeline, which is so perfect because that aligns with like spell work, right? Give yourself a time, have an actual date or a time frame that you want to accomplish things in. And with the moon, that is what's happening. What are you doing? She's just taking off all of her jewelry. I don't know what just happened.
I just stripped it. Listen, I have a thing about jewelry. It's so pretty.
Actually, can we talk about that? Listen, I show up here tonight. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay. Can you talk about my rune symbol?
She has a rune written on her hand. I showed up tonight for this and
I wrote,
this is what's going on.
This is the rune. This is, I don't know. There's probably more than one rune for prosperity, abundance, and wealth. And so the reason that I put this symbol on my hand today, which is a symbol for wealth and abundance and prosperity, is because on Thursdays is when I play the lottery. Because Thursdays are ruled, this is so off topic from what we're talking about. But anyway, that has to do with like
your jewelry. It drew my attention.
Why do I have this F on my hand? Or this rune symbol.
It's a rune, yeah.
It's a rune symbol.
Yeah.
But Thursdays are ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of abundance and expansion. So I'm trying to call into my life
a new pool.
And to pay off all of my debts, right? Which
loans,
and I would love to do other things too if the universe so sees fit to give me like the $5 million that I'm trying to win. But whatever, I'll take $250 because then I could pay off my house and my student loans and I'd be debt free. So what I did is I've been playing the lotteries on Thursday because Thursday is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance and prosperity
and expansion.
And so today I decided to add a little bit of extra oomph to that. And so I put this rune on my hand.
Okay, so what is it drawn on there with? Is that eyeliner?
It is eyeliner.
I love it.
It's actually waterproof eyeliner.
I love that. So All right, this is a weird question. Have you washed your hands today and it didn't come off?
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I just washed my hands a little while ago when I
Yeah.
went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You
So
probably
and it
appreciate
never-
that since I touched your hair after that.
I'm very grateful that you're washing your hands. Yes. I was that's a weird question to bring up. Like, do you wash your hands all the time? No, I love the rune.
Yeah,
thing.
no. So it did not come off when I washed my hands.
Because
I didn't use
waterproof
soap and
eyeliner
scrub, but I rinsed under the water and then wiped them off.
with
so.
soap.
Okay.
Yeah. Hand sanitizer works.
We'll go with
We're
it.
good. All right.
So anyway,
That is off topic a little bit, but it's because she removed all her jewelry. You guys,
so
and
my
I
problem
couldn't.
with I've never been a jewelry kind of girl, and actually rings and stuff. As soon as I put on rings and things, it feels like my hands start to swell and they just start to irritate me. So I can
have
do
so
necklaces, but I wish I could wear rings more. Anyway, we're totally off topic. Sorry about that.
A little off topic.
Okay, but circling
It
back,
brought up your rune on your hand, which I really love.
I like the rune on my hand. I actually am going to do other runes on my hand so I'm going to learn runes. I've had this set of runes for a while and I don't know them. I don't know the symbols, but they intrigue me. And I'm like, I can bring that energy into my life. I've also
There's symbolism.
So I've also this week started this little ritual. So I started trying to create rituals around just ritual practices, right? Little things like not spells, because spells take a lot of energy. And I think we talked about this in a short that we did recently about how often do witches do spells. Sorry, we're totally off topic, but this is how it goes. Sometimes we should be on a podcast.
Make this connect.
We are going to make it connect. But so I started doing these little, what I call mini rituals, kind of like what you do with your coffee in the morning when you add the cinnamon and you stir and you do these things. And
those are little rituals that you have that enhance your day for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
It sets the intention for the things that you want throughout your day or whatever you're doing.
So what I've just started doing this week is in the morning, first of all, before I get out of bed, I stretch and I, kind of get myself in this groove. And then I come out here and I make my coffee and I take my dog for a walk. But when I come back, I light some sage and it's sort of for a moment, just sort of be in the moment there with my sage and my tarot cards. And then I shuffle and I pull a card to give me some guidance for the day. And so I've been doing that this week and was I kind of dig that. It's super simple. It takes 3 minutes to do it. And it makes me feel super witchy. And it sets a tone for me for the day.
It's
it actually sets,
it
sets a tone. It sets a tone for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you may know about, I don't know. We talked about this in a short about I'm tired of hearing myself bitch, and because I'm always complaining.
She annoys herself.
I annoy myself.
Yeah.
So it's everything is oh my God, this is so annoying. Everything's so annoying, and I really noticed this thing about me. And I was I want to change that because I'm annoyed with being annoyed with myself.
I annoy myself being annoyed.
I annoy myself being annoyed all the time. So I just decided, you know what? I'm done with that. So every time I get this little annoyances about whatever it is, tonight it was traffic. And I was don't be annoyed. It's going to be over in 5 minutes. There's no reason to totally change your energy of your day or your hour or the moment, I guess, to something negative when you can just let that stuff sort of roll off your back like a water off a duck. I think that's the right way to say it.
Water off a duck's back, yes.
Water off a duck's back. Where you just or an otter even. I think they're super slow.
I love otters.
Oh God, I think they're
Don't
super
get me
slow.
sidetracked.
So anyway, sorry, super sidetracked with that whole conversation. But maybe if somebody hears this, that will resonate with you. Is are you annoyed with yourself about some habit that you have? Then the thing to do is to recognize. I feel. I'm just speaking from 3 days of experience here.
3 days?
Three whole days of experience.
I think it's
where I'm
2 weeks.
I don't need to do that. I can actually change the way that I'm thinking and it's to my benefit. So I'm lighting a candle every morning. I'm burning sage every morning. I'm pulling a tarot card every morning. I'm spending 2 minutes just standing in front of my altar going just nothing, just this nothingness where I'm it's just me, the universe, the space, pulling a card. What's my message for the day? And then go about it.
What you're really doing is you're doing something called being present. You're
am
just
present.
in the moment with
And I
no
think that-
expectations of future or past. That's
And I
being
think that
present.
is so important, because I don't know, with our busy lives, how much are we really in the moment?
It's very difficult because
It's
we're always
very
thinking
hard.
about what has to be done and all the things.
Yeah.
This actually will lead into very well the Aquarius new moon stuff.
Awesome. I love that.
She didn't know. She didn't know what she was doing.
It happens this way with us.
So with the Aquarius new moon, one of the things that, not one of the things, how about we start with this? For Aquarius, their motto is I know. So their motto being I know, it's because of all of the experience. Remember, they are the 11th sign on these zodiacs. So they know all of the lessons of the other zodiacs.
Yeah.
The only one left after this is Pisces, which is I believe. So we are getting ready to come upon the shift between the I know and the I believe spectrum, sort of, right? So the I know is all about looking at our experiences. What have we learned? What are we doing with them? How has it helped us? How has it not helped us? You really have to look at the what do I know now? I've been through 10, 11 signs now, an entire year. And now we're building up to assess what do we know about ourselves, about our world, where we live, our relationships, our job, our practice, whatever it is. What do we know? We switched that in just a few days. I wrote it down because I never remember the actual transition time frame, but from at February 18th to February 19th, we're transitioning from the Aquarius to the Pisces season, right? It takes some people longer. It doesn't matter. Hard and fast rules are not for me. But in just a short amount of time, we're going to look at what do we know versus what do we believe about ourselves, believe about our experiences, believe about our time on earth, believe about our soul's purpose here. And I think that Aquarius, the I know leading into the I believe, you go from this very analytical brain center to the very feeling heart, intuitive. I'm gonna lead with my emotions. I'm gonna go into something that just feels like it's right for me. So with this new moon, what's perfect about this, because right now our full moons are before our new moons. So we have the new moon closer to the sign exchange. You can set intentions right now, and intentions, we just did a video or a short about that.
We just did a short about
because what it really,
I think we did a video
we
on
did a video on
intentions.
it.
Yeah, like
The
a 20-minute video.
Yeah. The intention of what you want to bring forth in your life is more about what you feel in your body, in your soul, in your heart that you're lacking at the moment. You really want to pull that in and say, I have to stop pretending and acting like everybody else's ideas of what I should be is the right way. And I've really got to live for myself. And Aquarius is all about that. So these two things go hand in hand perfectly. Aquarius is about flying your freak flag, right? It's about being an individual, setting new paths, like looking for answers that are beyond. It's truly about being unique, and it's about serving other people too. So I love that. It's in service of humanity. But for ourselves, we need to be in service to ourselves as well. So when we go from this Aquarius season into our Pisces season, and we have this new moon, which is just days away from transitioning into the Pisces season, look for things to do that really inspire you to be the you that you want to be, regardless of all the people around you. Because everybody else's ideas and opinions of you do not truly matter. They are not your soul guides. They are not your spirit guides. They are not your angels that are out there trying to help you do their best. They're human. They are souls incarnate in human bodies that are trying to manipulate you to do things that are probably more in their best interest. So you want to break away from all of that shit and do what actually feels like it can complete you as a person. That was a lot. I felt like I was on a pedestal a little bit with that, but it's truly the embarkment that I see for the souls that transition from Aquarius into Pisces, the last sign of the I believe.
So I don't know if everybody knows this or not, because it was something that I think I learned, like you said, you learned about like 7 or 8 years ago, you learned the different, like, so in case you don't know this in astrology, so Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are like the newbies. They don't know, they're the novices. They don't really know a lot.
Yeah.
They have to learn. So with each transition from one sign to the next, we gain more knowledge. We learn more things about ourselves and the world and how we want to be.
Yeah.
So with each sign builds on the previous sign's experience, which is how we get key. Which is how we have gotten here to Aquarius, the 11th sign of the zodiac, to the like I know. So when we say the reason that Aquarius is I know is because you've lived these other 10, you've lived through these other 10 cycles
lifetimes,
of lessons that have to be learned within each one of those signs. So by the time you get to Pisces, the last sign, you know, Aries is the least evolved of all the signs. Sorry, Aries, but it's true. You're like
but you're fire starters, you're creators, you get shit going, you're motivators.
You're also the least evolved because you're like brand new, right? Yeah. You're like a babe. You got to learn all the lessons. As you get through the signs and you get all the way to Pisces, you're the most evolved sign. And you really, a lot of Pisces people that I know are very intuitive, very spiritual. Yeah, they live in this dream world. But you know what? That dream world is them manifesting what they want their life to be, they want the world to be, because they see this place that is beautiful and harmonious, and everybody lives together, and we got cats and dogs and cows and sheep, and we all get along, and you know, there's not conflict.
It doesn't have to be conflict to survive.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like the beautiful thing. So anyway, that's just like the progression of the signs, beginning with Aries, which is you guys, the Aries folks, they're the people that get shit started. They can't finish much because they don't really have the energy for that, but they're very good. If it wasn't for Aries, nothing would happen because they got to get shit started. Where by the time we get to Pisces, it's like we've learned all of these lessons of the other signs and incorporated those, and now we're like, oh dang, I know. Now I know, and I can see what I want, what the future looks like for me, what life looks like for me, what the world looks like in my ideal world. So I hope that makes sense.
Well, what I love about this is because we're talking about the Aquarius new moon right now, and this is a time when we can really make plans towards our future. We take our experiences of what we've known, bad or good, you know, and I think I want to really hit home on this because, you know, I'm about to be 43. Yeah, I'm about to be 43. Kat is 25 again. And
I'm her mother, in case you don't know her.
With that, we have a lot of life experience. And I think something that can plague us is that we look back at our life experiences and we go, that was the wrong relationship. That was the wrong job. That was the wrong major in college. That was wrong. We always, we're so good at pointing out.
We're hard on ourselves.
Deficiencies.
We're very hard on ourselves.
We're hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
But in this new moon, in this era, in this time right now, what it's really calling for with the I know motto is to say, I know I've done shit in the past that did not suit me. So that helps me focus for the future on things that I know are for me.
And I just like to restate that just a little bit. When you say, you know, they're not for you, it's like they don't align with what you want. They don't align with your.
Make you happy. It wasn't the right.
They're not in alignment with what your goals are right now at this moment. And those change, of course, over time, depending on where you are. If you're in your 20s, it's going to be different. If you're in your 30s, and now we're in our 40s, and Jamie's in her 40s, I'm in my 60s. So these things change over time. The I know part of it, it's like the more years and more decades that you live, the more lessons.
How about the more Aquarius seasons we have of the I know? It's like,
yeah,
oh,
the cycles. You get
I
this,
know that
you get,
from last year.
You get to go
Yeah.
through the cycles every year of your life. You get to go through the cycles of all of the zodiacs.
That's right.
And relearn or get those lessons again if you haven't learned them, or incorporate them and make changes in your life. And like sort of what you're doing with each one of these experiences is like you're honing in on what is really your path in this life. What do you want to do?
Path, purpose, goal,
yeah,
achievements. This is the Aquarius thing. Aquarius wants to get out there and make a change for humanity. And most of us do not come to Earth just to serve our own selves. We come to serve a planetary agenda. We come to serve a societal agenda to move us forward in something. We're in or about to enter. It's always a funny thing. We were in Pisces. Now we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Everybody's heard that. Yes. The age of Aquarius is for humankind. It's for us to advance. So this is part of that energy surrounding advancement into the future that is not self-centered, personal gain. It's really about how can I use my gifts and abilities to progress the community around me? And your community could be very small. It could be very large, but it is still about that humanitarian effort to move things forward. When we slowly move into the Pisces season, you go from the I know factor to the I believe this is truly my purpose. I believe this is something that I really want to put all of my energy into. Which then brings me to, we're going to talk about this on other lives, of course, because we're going to do every new moon and full moon. But we go from the I believe to the I am, which is the Aries sign, which Kat was like, oh, they don't finish things. That's true. The I am part of it is we make that statement about from what we believe to what we decide we are. And I love that about the Pisces Aries transition of from the end of the sign to the beginning of the sign. We're really going to define who we decide to be for this year.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the Aquarius new moon, okay? Because this is like the time to decide who we're going to be, what we want to do, how we're going to put our best foot forward. I'm going to challenge you guys. This is a really challenging conversation. We're getting to the end of the zodiacs, which becomes more and more of our experiences, our feelings, our shit we've been through. I'm going to tell you a story about how I let one of the worst things that happened in my life propel me into the best situations of my life, because that is what Aquarius does. It takes the experience and it tells us, I know now what I should do. That bad experience does not happen by happenstance. That bad experience is there for us to learn lessons so that we can grow as souls, so that we can continue on with our purpose. My thing is that, I had sexual harassment when I was in the military, and it spiraled me out of control in a way that was unbelievable. It ended my career. And I was so lost for so many years. But what I found was if I returned to my actual true nature, my spiritual self, that is what has led me to success. I was able at one point in my actual therapy, I've been in therapy since, how long have I been in therapy?
I don't know. 100 years.
Wow. I love that. Thank you, Mom, for that. She was very supportive in that 100 years. Yes, I'm 42 and 3/4, and
we all need therapy, though. We could probably be in therapy from the time we could talk.
Everybody should have somebody to talk to about their shit.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah.
But I probably started my actual therapy for PTSD when it was probably 2016, 2014. No, not 2014. Definitely like 2016, 2017. Anyway, what happened from that was I decided that with my really bad bullshit that this guy did to me, that then was broadcast to my entire ship of 2,500 people, like he recorded me in my most intimate moments and then decided that, other people should see it. It shot down my self-worth. It shot down the control that I had over my life. My captain didn't want to act on it and do anything. It was a very hard situation for me because I believed in the military so much. And it took one person to shatter my dreams of that.
You loved the military.
I was a lifer. I signed up to do 20 years.
She was going to do 20 years. And
And
then
I
some
still love
asshole
it.
with a camera
I
planted
still love
in
it.
where? In a bathroom? A locker room?
No. I had a top secret clearance, so he put it in the top secret vault. Okay, so it's not
So
even
an
what you
a-hole
would
with
think.
a hidden camera.
Back when nanny cams first arrived on I almost said Instagram, on Amazon in like 2022. No, 2022.
Whatever it was.
2002. Sorry, it's been a long time. Anyways, this dude ruined a lot of shit for me and 3 other women because in my job, there were not a lot of women. We had a group of 56 people and we had about 4 or 5 women in this entire group. He ruined all of this. But when I got out and I went through a lot of things, and then I remember when we were driving from Kansas to Florida. So I'm driving from Kansas.
Oh, I was looking
Florida.
him up on the internet because
My
I was
mom
ready to go
was so
stalking.
ready to retaliate.
I was ready to go stalking and F his life up.
For sure. And
I
wasn't necessarily against that because I really thought he ruined a lot of things for me. But now, in my evolved state, what I realize is that my villain, he was a villain in my life. My villain propelled me to do something I didn't know I was capable of. I thought I was shy and permissive and like,
no.
And guess what? That experience made me loud, expressive, and speaking up for myself. So there's this thing that I have that sounds really effed up. I can't lie. But if you can find a way to thank the villains in your life for things, and everybody's not at that place, but when you can thank the villain in your life that made you stronger, led you to your purpose, our soul contracts say things like that this person will come in and let you experience a hardship so that it drives you on your path to teach other women to be strong, to become an advocate, to make sure that other people are safe, to drive this other force. And what I think about now is like his poor soul, because he's still, I'm not gonna say.
Well, wait a minute. No, we did look him up. This was this was less than 5 years ago.
5 years.
Because when we were driving up here, it was 4.5 years ago. When I moved here, so we looked him up, and he's like, he's a nobody in a meaningless job somewhere, like doing nothing. Right? He's made nothing, so he's not a successful man. What a surprise! So guys who like plant hidden cameras in locker rooms and film women when they're in their most intimate moments of getting dressed and bathrooms and whatever and stuff like that. Like when they think they have privacy and then they don't because they're being spied on. Surprisingly not. This is a man who's not had success in his life. I call that karma.
And do you know what's crazy, you guys? Is like, I actually still feel bad for him. I actually still feel bad for the fact that his soul or whatever he's supposed to learn here, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the agreement is between these things. But I know that he pushed me into a place that made me determined, outspoken. Like it actually gave me gifts.
But I want to share something with you. That did not happen overnight. That was a long
10 years.
That was many seasons. So when we talk about these cycles of Aquarius to Pisces, where we're evolving each year,
experience versus belief.
Each year we're starting, we can think about each year we're starting a new year and we're having to go through all of these lessons.
Yeah.
And we're choosing or not choosing to take the lessons that we've learned that have been the universe has given us that we picked in our life here. And we're either learning from them and we're becoming circumspect and we're like, okay, so we're forgiving and we're moving on and we're not allowing ourselves to be held down by these things that happen to us and we're evolving. So that helps us evolve as we can get through them. But it takes time.
It does take time.
It takes, Jamie was
time therapy.
Effed up for a lot of years about this. I mean, it was a
2005 to probably 2016.
It was a weight that like she carried around like a like this huge weight on her
Like a turtle shell.
of this
Where I
person
ducked
who
back
had done
in.
these things where she just felt like a victim.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard not to feel like a victim.
So I didn't trust people. I did the thing where I didn't have friends. I didn't go out.
You all of a sudden you withdraw, you know,
Yeah.
from everything. But what happens is
very-
over time, and again, it does take time. So if you're going through something like this, understand that these are it's progression, and we have to sort of go through the bad stuff to get to the point where we're finally like, okay, I'm stronger now. I can look back on this. There's like hindsight's 2020. I can look back on this with some, I mean, I can't believe she says I feel sorry for the guy. I just want to beat him up because he messed with my daughter, and he messed up her whole career, because she was going to be a lifer. She was going to do 20 years and then retire at like 39. She would have retired from the Navy in 20 years at 38 years old, and she would have been set for life to do whatever she wanted to do. And instead, here comes this person along who like threw a wrench into it, and now she got to deal with all this other stuff. So everything changed. And this is the stuff that life throws at us. And I guess it's a reminder that as we move through the cycles of the months and the years, it's an opportunity for us to look and say, okay, you know, if you're not dealing with it right now, you might have to get therapy. You might have to get medication, depending on what you're going through. It can be a lot of things. With Jamie, it was an invasion of her privacy and a humiliation, because the videos that he took, everybody
leaked all over the ship.
Everybody saw them, including her command, all the people that were everybody above her. Yep. And they're all males. You know, there's not very many very many females in the military show, in the hierarchy. No. So
at least 20 years ago. Remember, this is like 2002.
So so the humiliation of like, everybody's seen my personal private stuff, you know, all my private business. They've all seen it, and but
like my mom is more disturbed by this right now than I am, because I've really let it go.
Well, I guess what I'm saying to you, if you are a person who's dealing with a situation in your life where you're like I don't know how I could feel more low, more
small,
devalued, more small, more humiliated, more just like, I don't mean anything. I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Just know that as we go through these seasons, season by season, we do, if we, I guess, approach it in the right way.
Yeah.
If we are willing to keep an open mind and sort of like not get stuck in a rut where we're like totally beating ourselves up, like that's it, my life's over, and you become a drunk. If we don't
do
that.
Just thumb me when you said become a drunk?
I was just thinking, you know, like whatever. You
no, I did. I definitely used alcohol.
You could succumb to alcohol or drugs or just whatever, because it can make you, these kind of situations, especially as a woman, we can just, you know, the things that happen to us in this regard, where our sexuality or our value is so, we're stripped of it, and it can make us feel so worthless
or small.
Like we just have no value in the world, but we do. And so if we can stick through that and keep getting through from the next to the next and get the help that we need, and sometimes that might mean it may mean having a really good friend to talk to. It may mean professional counseling. It may mean medication. It could manifest in a lot of different ways.
Yep.
The point is that eventually, hopefully, and I'm praying for anybody who's going through this, because I watch my daughter go through
Pisces, I believe,
is that, you know, we're able to move past it, and we're able to look at it and be like, yeah, that was really messed up, but I'm not going to let it define me.
I think the important part about it, not letting it define you, is that we always have to acknowledge it wasn't our fault. There's guilt when these things come up, and we have to acknowledge that it was not our fault. Should I have seen the cameras? Should I have noticed things? Should I have paid attention to people's weird gossips that I thought were just bizarre? Like, what? I don't know. I did hold myself accountable for a long time for that.
And we
but
do this as women.
We do this. With
So-
any kind of abuses, we do this. We do that. We hold ourselves accountable and we say it must have been our fault. And it's truly
It's my
not.
fault. I got in the car with 4 guys and that's why I got gang raped.
I mean, it can be a torture on our own brains. And that is where the Aquarius season is. I know what I've been through. I know what I've dealt with. I know all the things. I know the world. I know the fucked upness of everything. What we're going to transition to from the I know is what I believe. And when you believe that there is better, you attract better. You will be in a place that attracts better. But there's changes. There's habits. There's knowledge that you have to apply. You can't fall into your same routines with the I know.
And
I already know how this ends.
The other thing about that, I think that's like so important to help you move past is like, as Jamie has done, she can now look back at this situation and this man and say, I actually feel sorry for you because you're such a loser.
I do feel sorry.
And, you know, in the beginning,
Yeah.
when this happened to her, she was just angry and hurt and ashamed.
Actually,
all of these things that, was it anger?
Yeah.
I was angry. Well, as her mother, I was angry.
So what was really
I wanted to
crazy
kill
is
him.
that I lived in Japan at the time. So most of my all of my Navy career was overseas. I lived in Guam for 2 years. I lived in Japan for 4 years. But my first command in Japan was just 2 years long because this guy recorded me and 2 other females. And I requested a transfer and they kicked me off the boat because of it. They said I caused a mutiny. It was really crazy. So they moved
Don't
me to
even
a
get
new,
me started on.
It's really, listen, 20 years ago, please, I still support the military and everything they have to offer for young people. I would never steer people away from it. But you have to know what you can do. And I did. And I did my thing. So I got moved to another command up north, about 5 hours. Well, my CO, who was so mad about what I did, because I reported him as not controlling the situation, and so he got reprimanded. A captain in the Navy got reprimanded because of me. And
that probably didn't set well with him.
He was probably a little pissed off. But I moved up north in Japan about 5.5 hours. Well, one day I run into the guy who did this thing to me, who recorded me, right? And I was at a bar. Navy, we're drinkers, okay? We spend time but I was also about 23. I think I was 23. Somebody said, have you met my friend? And said his name. And I knew, I was like, there's no other name like that. I literally took my beer bottle, smashed it against the corner of a bar like a psycho, and went after him to kill him. Like I was thinking about bottle in the neck, throat, no joke.
Like the movies where you see somebody break the bottle, beer bottle, and then they stab him in the neck and they die, they bleed out in the.
Thank God I was
in
drunk
the parking lot
and I
of
did
the
not.
bar.
He was faster than me. I would never have actually wanted to kill somebody, but the anger level that I felt at that time,
the emotion,
the whole thing with it.
All of the degradation, humiliation, you messed up my whole career. All of these things.
It really messed with me. So with that, I was able to progress into a place years and years later of, you are such a small man that you need to get your rocks off by recording women that you worked with.
What does it say about a man who does that?
That is why
a person, not just a man, but a person.
It's why I do not take it personally anymore. I do not think that this was personal to me. And I'm a Pisces and my numbers have 2s in them, which is a very feel everything emotionally. It's not personal. What happened to me was to propel me into something that stands up for other people's rights. When I realized that, because what was truly hurt for me, people saw me naked. And they never said anything bad to me.
Not people,
what is
everybody.
No, not everybody. 2,500 people, probably 600 to 700 people.
2,500 people have never seen me naked. The humiliation of that. I don't care if your body is a brick shit house, still.
Doesn't matter. It's a
violation of your privacy.
It's everything. But what I realized that he did for me And this is why one of my notes on tonight's actual meeting, you guys, is to
we got way
thank-
off.
I know, it's very weird. And listen, if you're not ready for this spot, don't follow it. But one of my things tonight for the Aquarius new moon, because this is the I know. One of my things tonight that really helped me, and if you're not ready for it, that's okay, is that I know and accept that I'm higher than the people that hurt me. And it is to move me into a place to help other people. Because that is how I think of this guy. I think of him as a person, a soul who sacrificed whatever the fuck he had to do in order to move me into a place that made me so stern, so secure, so ready, so mad that I was not going to be able to be stopped.
Well, so something about Jamie that, I remember of her growing up. So of course I raised her. I'm her mother.
You raised me.
And she was like, I have 3 children, and of all of my children, she was the most accommodating, and she never wanted to cause any strife. So her goal was always to keep the peace.
As a people pleaser.
And she was a people pleaser. And so that type of thing, so that type of personality, and this was her whole entire life. She's like, no, everything's good, like just super chill, non-confrontational, all of that. So when you are that type of person where you're like, I don't want to make waves. I just want everybody to get along because I want everyone to be happy.
I like happiness.
You eventually have to learn that sometimes you have to make waves. But when you're a person who naturally doesn't want to make waves and who naturally doesn't want to be confrontational with people, it's really, really hard to get to the point where you're like being able to stand up for yourself. The opposite is true if you're like me, where you want to fight everybody from a very early age, when you want to go to the other extreme where you're like, I just want to get along. So it's this trend, almost is this interesting thing, because I see in my daughter this like super passive and accommodating and people pleaser and stuff, which are lovely traits most people like, but some people take advantage of. When I see that, I want to emulate that, because I like that personality. I like people who get along and make other people happy. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, don't F with me, because I'll punch you in your nose and cuss you out. So I would rather move to the other extreme. So depending on where are you on the spectrum, are you down here? Are you the people pleaser, or are you the rebel fighter? If somebody says something or looks at you wrong, you're ready to cuss them out and be done with them. So what's happened is that Jamie and I have moved like this, right? So I've moved closer to this balance in the middle where it's like you stand up for yourself. So I'm not out here where I'm like wanting to just, if anybody looks at me wrong, I want to kick them in the teeth and cuss them out. I'm more here where I'm like, oh, okay, you're just having a bad day. And Jamie's over here where she's like, I'm super accommodating and I just want to get along, and I don't, to where she stands up for herself. So here in one spectrum, I'm moving this. So I just feel like it's fair. I never thought about that before, but it's so true.
Having that realization.
I know. It's like, I'm just having this epiphany now about how different we are, where you're like this super people pleaser. And then you had to get to this point where you're like, I'm going to no longer shut my mouth. I'm going to stand up for what I believe. And me, mouthy and spicy and all of that stuff, and maybe rude. I'll just put it that way, to where I'm moving to this, where I don't want to be that. I want to be more open and what's the word am I thinking of? Just more approachable.
Well, what I love about what you're saying is that if you guys have not looked up the astrology, like little mottos, it's a great thing to do.
Oh, I want to know where these are. The astrology mottos.
Anywhere online.
They're everywhere.
The traditional
so it's like
astrology mottos.
So look for those, because I think it's really, really important to understand them. So like Aquarius is.
I know. Aquarius is I know.
No, what is Aries? I am. And then Pisces is I believe. So we
I
go from
believe.
I am to I believe.
But what is Scorpio?
I don't know. I can't
I
remember.
desire.
I desire. Oh, imagine
See
that.
the whole selfish, like I desire.
That's me.
Of the 3 water signs, it's I feel, I desire, I believe. Those are our transitions between a fixed, which is the Cancer, to the
No, Scorpio's fixed because I'm a fixed water.
You're not fixed.
I'm fixed.
You're not the fixed sign.
I am.
No.
Yes, I am.
What's the first one?
It must be.
Oh my gosh!
It must be Cardinal. Isn't Cardinal first?
Oh shoot! Cardinal versus
Cardinal fixed
versus mutable.
Mutable. Okay.
So she's the fixed. I desire.
Because I'm like an ice
I
cube.
believe.
As a Scorpio water, I'm like an ice cube.
cube.
I'm an ice cube, and that so fits my personality.
Listen,
or
you know what she said to me recently, you guys, which I love. I'm about to put you on blast because you always do this to me.
Go ahead, put me on blast. I don't care. We're here to help. So hopefully,
she said, as a Scorpio mother, she said, I can be really hard. I can be really hard. And so for a Pisces daughter, I'm this, I believe.
The sweetest, softest ever.
Imagine crabs in the ocean. This is like the bitch that's been hard for 5 years and hasn't shed her shell at all. I'm like the freshly new shell that just is like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's our relationship, possibly. I don't know.
Well, we actually had a really good relationship because Jamie was
always
of my 3 children. She was the pleaser. She never wanted to see the fighting where the other 2 like fought me tooth and nail for everything.
I fought in other ways.
I had a Sagittarius son and a Taurus daughter, and we butted heads like constantly.
Fire, earth, and water.
But with Jamie, she was just like, oh yeah, go along with everything. Just happy. Happy, I love you. You're the best mom. Where the other 2 were like, I hate you.
She's a very good mom.
I hate you. So we did not have. We actually had a really, just because of her personality, we did not have a turbulent. Well,
not us. The other ones.
The other one. No, but with you, it was always like she was the most pleasant. She was. I call her. You know what I say? You know what I say about my middle child, which is Jamie.
No, this is gonna be on camera for the other kids to see.
Sorry, you guys. But what I say about her is like, I got you because if I'd had 3 the same, I would have just killed myself or ran away. But I got one that was like so pleasant and easygoing and happy, where the other 2 were like miserable and they made my life.
They needed external stimulation, which. You're making me laugh so hard. It's so much family stuff happening right now.
So you guys, I know we've gotten like way off track with what we're talking about with Aquarius, but I do think that we can bring it back to Aquarius
all right,
season.
Bring it
back. Unless we're done talking about our family trauma.
No, because you know why it's really good to talk about the family trauma shit right now is because this is the Aquarius I know season. This is your experiences. Write that shit down. Catalog it. Know yourself. Do not. What do people do when they like fake shit? What's that called? Like, do not plagiarize your past, okay? Write down what you know happened to you, that you know is truth, that is your truth. And then from there, when we come into Pisces season in just like, I don't know, 15, how many days? I don't even know. It's the 8th, like a little while. What happens from Aquarius season to Pisces season is that you are going to decide what you know about your life, what you know about your family, what you know about your relationships. And then you are going to decide what you believe about yourself. Were you the cause of the disruptions? Were you the cause of whatever? Or worse yet, because I mean, being the cause of it is like owning your shit and you're like, yeah, okay, I accept that. Worse is I was not the cause of that abuse. I was not the cause of that, BS.
Effed up stuff. Yeah.
And that is where we truly transform from Aquarius to Pisces season. And this new moon, you guys, this new moon is all about preparing for that transition. Your Aquarius sign right now is telling you to acknowledge what you know. Your Pisces self, it's gonna be a Pisces full moon first, which is crazy. We're gonna celebrate all this shit about ourselves that is unique and wonderful and we believe before we get to the new moon of Pisces. But you're going to understand that you as a person may be different than everybody in your family. You may be different from everybody in your lineage. You might feel like you don't belong at all.
An outsider.
That's Aquarius transitioning into Pisces. Aquarius is about being that abnormal person. I say abnormal with like the biggest heart responsible because normal is
so I just had this epiphany as you were talking, Jamie.
Yeah.
And that is like, I think I told you guys about grumpy me. And I'm like really tired of hearing myself bitch constantly. So first of all, let me just explain that a little bit. I work from home, so I'm home all day long by myself. It's just me and my dog, right? And he comes and looks at me and always wants to go out, and I tell him to go lay down. But anyway, so I'm at home and I let it seems to me that I've gotten to the point where I let every little thing annoy me, like the computer's slow, somebody did something. It's like, oh my God, why are you asking me this again? Like, didn't I already? So I found myself being super annoyed. So what I see in what you were saying is this transition of me realizing that I don't want to be that person who lets every little thing get to me and ruins my day. So I've just decided to believe that I am not that person, that I'm going to let that shit roll off my back. And so what's happened over the last 3 or 4 days with me is every time I start to say to myself, God damn it, that kind of thing. When something annoys me at work, I'm like, stop. It's not a big deal, right? It's like, it's such a small thing. And then I move on with my day. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's a beautiful thing. It's really improved my mood, my life, my outlook, my everything. And so I'm like, I feel like it totally vibes with what's going on in the sky right now with Aquarius and with the Aquarius new moon. And I see you're reading the comments. So.
I am, because I can see that Melissa said, I am typically a people pleaser, right? But becoming less so as I get older.
Yeah. You know what?
Claps.
Well, you know what? There's balance there, right? Like we can please people because I feel like now.
But what is that? So what is people pleasing?
Well, okay. So let me explain it to you, because I've always been a person who was not a people pleaser, and I didn't really give a damn what anybody thought. I just did what I wanted to do, and like, F you, I don't really care what you think. So I'll just tell you the transition from being that person who was really abrupt and who people thought was because they would meet me and I would just be like really hard. What's happened to me now is, as I've started to transition out of that and more to this, I don't want to call it people pleasing. Oh, no. What I want to call it is more of people understanding that we're all going through things, and that every single person that we encounter every day, whether they're in a bad mood, a good mood, they're scowling at us, they're cussing somebody out, whatever they're doing, everybody's going through their own thing. And so what I see in myself and how I'm approaching this kind of like transition from being super harsh and hard and I don't really care, to this person who is trying to be understanding,
considerate,
and kind.
Yeah.
And kind, and just and understanding of what people are going through. So I have more compassion. So I'm trying, it's like I've evolved from this really harsh person to somebody who's trying to be more compassionate and understanding about what people are going through. It's not an affront to me. You didn't do it to me. We're all going through our own things. So that's my evolution.
Well, what I love, Melissa is saying, like, I've had to work on that because she is an Aries sun. An Aries sun can be such a difficult position to be in because you're so motivated to get things going and the people around you may not be. And you just like, you have the passion and the drive and the foresight for it. And what
Aries can't help themselves. They want to
No.
get stuff started.
Aries are,
If we didn't have, listen, if Aries didn't start things, nothing would happen in the rest of the zodiac. We would all just be sitting around waiting for Aries to start stuff.
Aries is the beginner.
So thank you, Aries.
We love Aries. I have a true appreciation for Aries because long time ago, I had a best friend that, really got me into working out in public. I didn't work out in public. And she got me into that.
Excuse me.
She said, no, don't even worry about that. What do you do? Like, who cares about the other people? She allowed me to absorb some of her energy with that. And I got to experience that Aries energy of fire starting, bringing things together, doing stuff that's good for people. Just, there's so much passion, fire in Aries. They're the first sign of the zodiac. I'm the last sign. I'm a Pisces. So having an Aries friend is a game changer. I guess what I want to say about that is when you encounter an Aries, don't fault them for not being able to follow through with something. Give them so much credit for being able to start it and then stick with them through it to the end of whatever it is. Give them the commitment that they need in order to finish the stuff that they want to, because they have the fire to start anybody's passion. They're literally fuel on the fire. So we're so excited that, Melissa was able to tell us that as an Aries sun, yeah, it is hard. Listen, I'm a Pisces. I'm at the very end of the zodiac. I could be completely complacent, and let everything happen around me. But I know that I want to help people adjust emotionally and spiritually instead. Where are you at? You're the second water sign. You got
I'm
Cancer,
the second,
Scorpio,
yeah, but I'm
Pisces.
well,
She's all about desire and like, do what the fuck you want. That's this one.
There's a reason Scorpios
Message
have the
cat.
reputation
Yeah.
that they have.
I love it. Well, what's really funny is I wrote out,
And I'm working on that because I do want to be nicer.
so I did write out, because I thought it was really interesting to write out the fire, earth, air, water signs mottos. Okay, you guys
Yeah, I
ready
wanna
for
hear
this?
this.
It's
I'm
really
ready.
funny. All
I
right.
want to hear it.
So fire signs. We're talking about Aries, Leo, and
Sagittarius?
Sagittarius. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I am, I will, I see. This is all, this is fire lighting underneath other things.
So wait, what's this a Sagittarius? Sagittarius?
I see.
Is that the last one? Is that John? Is that my son?
Arrow, aim, shoot, fire, done. That's not just your son. That's also Taylor Swift. Love you, girl. Okay. Then Earth. Earth is really interesting because
My other daughter.
All right. Earth is my sister who
We love.
enhances my life so much as my Pisces self. My sister gives me colors I could not explore.
She's super
But
cool.
Earth is,
But she wasn't an easy child to raise. I'll tell you that much as a Scorpio.
because she had a fucking right mind about it. So Earth is the Earth, Taurus. This is the luxury of possessions. I analyze, which is Virgo.
We're Virgo rising,
We're
both
Virgo
of us.
rising.
So yeah,
we get it. We're just
we
like,
totally get that. You can't help
how does
yourself.
this make? And then Capricorn, right? I use, oh shit.
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Was one of my
use.
exes, which I'm like,
Where we stand with that is that I analyze, I use. So I have my surroundings. I analyze what it's good for. I use it for what it's good for. The Earth symbol is great. We're going to move on to air. All right. So air first is Gemini.
first air is Gemini.
Dad.
That's several of my exes,
Hey.
including her dad.
Hey. You could say it.
My mother, my first
Oh,
husband,
shit.
my mother, and her dad. and
Gemini.
my son's father. So what is
My Gemini.
What is Gemini?
I think.
Yeah, they're always in their heads.
I balance. Virgo. No. Libra. Balance it. I think I balance. And then Aquarius, I know.
And that's where we are right now.
I think I balance. I know. So just write all that down. Then we get to water. This is great.
That's us.
The two of us. All right. Cancer first.
Cancer, my daughter-in-law. Lisa?
Mm-hmm. Shit. Lisa. The first water sign. I feel.
That's her.
I feel.
Yeah.
The second one.
Me?
I desire.
Yeah. I want it.
Lastly, Pisces. I believe. I just believe. So Pisces is at the end of all of the, 11. Now we're the 12th.
Again, the most evolved sign is Pisces. The least.
Is it the evolved?
It is because we go through the signs, and each one of the signs are lessons.
I don't like to brag.
Each one of the signs are. I didn't really appreciate it knowing that my ex was the most evolved sign, which she's like, I'm like, that really pisses me off. But anyway.
Just because you're a Pisces or you date someone who's a Pisces or you're involved
in love with someone who's a Pisces
does not mean that they are
loved him.
Involved. It doesn't mean that.
But he was like very perceptive. He like so many things that he told me where I was like, it was like eye-opening. It's almost like Pisces can see things that the rest of us don't see. And I think it's because you're the very last of the sign, the most evolved of the signs. So you can look back and be like, oh yeah, so that kid, he's behind the 8 ball. You said that when he was born.
Yeah.
Talking about one of my grandsons, like he's behind the 8 ball. Pop. He's got these things against him.
We have,
first of all, if my children are watching this, I just want you to know that even though it was tough growing up, I love you both, and you turned into awesome adults, super awesome adults, even though you gave me hell when I was raising you by myself as a mother. So, but you know that already, and you're both awesome right now. So I just want to make sure, in case they're watching, that I don't hold anything. There's no grudges.
No begrudging.
There's no animosities or anything like that. It's just like, we're all here to learn lessons. And every year that we're here, and as we move through the signs of the zodiac, I think we're all learning lessons, and we're presented with opportunities to learn. And I think the one thing we have to remember about the lessons that we have to learn is that we all came here with a karmic debt or lessons that we had to learn from the last life. The last life that we lived, because this is what I believe. I don't know if everybody believes this, but we've lived previous lives, and in those lives there were lessons that we needed to learn that may have been carried through from more previous lives. And until we learn the lessons that we need to learn, we keep repeating them. And I see that pattern in so many things with some of the people that I know. It's like it seems like they pick a really difficult path. And I really believe that's because they're trying to learn the lesson that they didn't learn the last time they were here, and maybe multiple times before that. And again, not everybody believes that, but I absolutely believe it. So,
I think it's true. I think that we are.
I don't think this is the first time most of us have been here.
No,
we've lived other lives. If you ever do a past life regression, which there are readings for that, or
classes
or things
stuff,
that you can do where you can learn about your other lives and what but you take lessons from one life to the next, and you're trying to learn them. It's why people I believe struggle with drugs and alcohol and other things that are
relationships
and just other things,
commitment,
like
children.
Why I've always picked shitty guys in my whole life. Well, it's from something in my past, because there's no reason for me to have done that. And I say shitty guys, I'm just saying guys that weren't right for me. I picked challenges. I picked challenges, wounded birds. And there's something there. And I don't think it's just from this life. I think it's from previous lives. So anyway, we've been here for like over an hour. Did we make our point about the Aquarius new moon?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any comments from we have lots of comments in here. And thank you if you've been here for the last hour, 4 minutes or so, listening to us.
For us, yeah.
Yeah, this should probably be a podcast.
Probably be a podcast
instead of a live stream, because honestly, you know what?
Stuff. So
Well, I think what Jamie and I have realized over the last 3+ years that we've been doing this is that there's a lot of healing that needs to take place in the world, and for us to be able to heal, we have to be able to talk about the things, and then we have to be able to put them into like compartmentalize things that have happened to us and be like, okay, so this thing, like your trauma happened to you.
For sure.
Women, I'm telling you, women, we deal with so much BS in this world. But I have good news for you. We have moved into the Aquarius season, and things are going to start to change. And as the world evolves, as we evolve, and as we become stronger and we're more vocal and not willing to like stand back and be like, oh, okay, I'll just be the meek little housewife or whatever. We're going to take charge, and we're going to eventually, we are going to come back to the place in the world where women were revered as goddesses and women were worshipped. And that's the part I'm looking forward to. And I hope I get to come back again, because I don't have that many years left here, but I hope I get to come back again in a future life where women are like, you know what, are respected, revered, worshipped like we were 2,000+ years ago, when before the patriarchy, religion, and all the things that happened. So that's all I have to say on that subject.
I was trying to get Tank in the photo, but he declined.
So I didn't get to read the comments.
No, everything is good.
Okay. So we've been here a long time. Should we wrap it? Yeah, we're usually like 30 minutes on these, but we kind of got off on a tangent, and maybe that's part of this.
Well, it's a big transition from the Aquarius to the Pisces.
I think
from the Pisces to the Aries.
Well, I think because we're at the end, we're coming at the end of that whole zodiac transformation.
It's a transformation of ourselves, for sure.
As we enter the Pisces season and we go through that transition, and then we start over again with Aries, there's all these opportunities for us to learn from our experiences and to evolve from those experiences. Yeah. And the evolution of those, I believe, is us forgiving ourselves for not being whatever society or we thought that we should be, that like dictated what we should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then moving on from that and being okay with it and being strong. And also, here's a really important thing, bringing other women like us along with us on this trip, supporting them.
Support you.
Being there for them, listening to them, and helping them, as sometimes just being a shoulder to cry on, or somebody to listen to, so we can all get through this, because I think that's what it's all about. I know that's what it's about for Jamie and I with the witch group that we have. Is like, it's what we're hoping. What we're really hoping for, our overall goal with New Witch Academy of Modern Magic is to help women create a transformative experience in their lives, where they were once super passive and accommodating and people pleaser and all of these things, and just kind of like meek, to this like powerful woman who stands up for herself. And then also on the other end of the spectrum, somebody who is like super hard with walls built up, who can let her walls down and embrace people and love them and accept them and just become this like really kind person. So it's an evolution.
Listen, I'm smiling because I'm reading Melissa's last 3 comments. I just love them so much. She said, I absolutely love you guys. You really are the best. I learned so much more from you guys than all the books I've read. Oh my God.
Listen.
The books. I get it. We're so there with trying to help people be on the books.
Yeah.
And then she said, I agree. I just recently started watching your videos and I really enjoy what you share. You guys really have a great way of explaining things. And I always love when you drift away from the subjects. This is a literal guarantee. Oh my gosh, Melissa, you have no idea. We can't help ourselves for our lives. If it was dependent on our lives, we couldn't stay on topic. It's because so many things.
Because everything interconnects, right? Everything's like this big circle, like these
into other things.
I mean, you can't, you almost can't help it. And you know, the thing about Jamie and us, like we don't have a script in front of us.
No.
So we have a few notes, like we want to know we make these points. Maybe. But then otherwise we just sort of like whatever comes out. And that's what you're seeing right now tonight.
Yeah.
In this 1 hour plus video about the new moon in Aquarius.
Oh my gosh.
Which is really crazy. But that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this natural progression or natural, just like, hey, these are conversations. Yeah. So thank you, Melissa. Those comments, like, I know Jamie's just like, and I feel the same way. Like, thank you, because it's really what we want to do. We want to connect with women. Primarily, sorry guys, but mostly, you know, we want to connect with women. We not that we discriminate. But you know, we're like feminine. but we are, I think we're feminists.
We're empowering the feminine.
We're feminists,
because so many things tell us that we're less than, and that's super fucking wrong. Yeah. We hold the power.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna just skip
podcast.
But first of all, I just want to give you an example. So 2 examples that are in the media right now that you can take from this. Number 1 is Taylor Swift, and how everybody is slamming Taylor Swift for being like shown on the NFL. And you got all these guys, mostly guys, freaking out over Taylor Swift being shown so much, and they're all bitching about it. That's number 1. Okay, so first of all, this is a woman who is successful, and she knows herself, and she doesn't care what people think anymore, because she did one time, and she's just out there. She's like doing her thing, living her life. And then today, okay, so I don't know if you guys know who Brittany Mahomes is. She is the wife of Patrick Mahomes, this quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, go Chiefs. Woo! Anyway, she just made, she's the SI. Oh my God, what's SI?
I have no idea.
Sports Illustrated. She's like on the cover. And so she's on Twitter today, right? They're like showing these pictures of her, and they're super sexy because, you know, Sports Illustrated is a magazine with the women with the sexy, you know, and the bathing suits and stuff, and they're super hot, right? So Brittany Mahomes
did that.
Quarterback, wife of Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. She just came out today. They're putting her on the cover. She's got this whole thing. And of course, there's this whole contingent of people who are criticizing her. And I'm just like, you know what? It pisses me off because she's successful. She's smart. She's married to a good guy. She's got a good family. She's a good person. She contributes to the community. She does all of these things. But there's these insecure, sexually inadequate dads, brads, and chads who are out there that are wanting to put us down. And this is what women have been dealing with since 2,000 years ago. So that's my rant.
I think we might end it on that.
Okay. So we're going to end it on that, but we're here for you, and we hope that you got something out of this, and we're really sorry we got so off topic, but hopefully you understand that the Aquarius new moon is about the I know, and we're getting what you know, and we're getting ready to move
into what you believe.
We're going to move into Pisces season with the I believe, and so every single, as we go through these transitions year after year after year, we gain a little more knowledge about ourselves, and we grow a little bit more, and we 100%. Learn a little bit more, and we evolve a little bit more.
Yes. From our experiences to yours, we love you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.